The first thing I do is when I am threading my eyebrows is you've got to shape your eyebrows. Once you've learned the knack of it, you don't really have to do an outline with a white pencil because it just comes naturally. Now, in order for you to get the correct shape of your eyebrows, what I normally do is I take a pencil, and from the bridge of my nose I place the pencil straight. Okay, that's straight. Okay, then what I do is I mark that point. Okay, then you've got to get the arch of your eyebrows. So from the bridge again, you've got to go through the middle of your eye, okay, which is the retinal area, okay, and that is where your highest point would be. So you will mark this as your highest point. Okay, then where your eyebrows should end, from the corner of your nose to the corner of your eye, straight across, that is where your eyebrow should actually end, and you will mark that there. Okay, now you have to join these 3 points. Okay, it's much easier when you use a white pencil because then you can follow, right? So you join them, creating the shape that you want. Okay, there we go. Then we're gonna do the bottom area. With the pencil, the advantages of shaping your eyebrows with the pencil before you actually go in is that you can always adjust the shape until you get the desired effect. Once you start plucking without marking or without getting your shape, and you've plucked incorrectly, there isn't much that you can do except to correct it later on with maybe eyeshadow or eye pencil. Okay, so this is the shape that I am happy with. What I would do now is I would take a bit of loose powder and I would pat it on the hair, the eyebrows I should say. Okay, this serves 2 purposes. One is it counteracts the oiliness in the hair, because the sebaceous glands in the roots of the hair actually secretes oils which surfaces on the hair, and when you're threading it can cause the thread to actually slip off. The other is that fine hairs which you cannot really see, with the white powder over it, it becomes more visible. Okay, you can use any powder. It could be translucent powder, it could be baby powder, it could be anything. The next thing that I do is that I take an eyebrow comb and I comb this up. Okay, get it closer. Okay, and then as you can see, all the stray hairs on the top here. So what I do is that once I've combed that, show it to you again. Once I've done that, then I trim it with a scissor. Okay, so that sorts all the hair out, the overgrown hair. Next, I take my thread. Okay, you make a loop with the thread, tie a knot at the end. There we go. Now the thread that we use for threading is not the ordinary sewing thread that you would use, although you can use it if you don't really have the proper threading cotton. The proper threading cotton is of a 40 strength, okay, and you would notice that it is not elastic at all compared to the sewing cotton, which has a bit of an elasticity pull. And what happens when you use that thread is that there is a little bit more pain because of the tugging and the elasticity of the cotton. Now you've got it held between your hands like this, okay, and what you're going to do is that you're going to use this hand and twist it between 5 to 8 times. Now you've got something like this, okay. The whole idea is you need to practice a scissors movement. When you open one hand, you've got to close the other hand. When you open the other hand, you've got to close the other hand. Did I say close the other hand? When you open the other hand, you've got to close the opposite one. When you are opening the one that is closed, you've got to close the one that is open. Okay. This here you need to actually practice. Okay. Once you practice this, everything else becomes very easy. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shape my eyebrow from the corner here. As I open, I am closing. As I open, I am closing. You may not be able to see the hairs, but trust me, there's a lot of hair that's coming off here. At the bottom. And then when we're threading here, okay. This is the final effect of shaping your eyebrows with the technique that I normally use. I forgot to mention earlier on that when you are taking your thread, you've also got to work, you've always got to work in the opposite direction of the hair growth. So if your hair is growing down this way, you've got to thread from the opposite direction, would be from this way here, and you would thread. if you're going to thread in the direction of the hair growth like this, you're not going to really catch any hairs. So you've got to do it in the opposite direction. Okay, and if it's this way, then you're going to be threading this way, here and here. You will bring your thread like this, and you will be using the upper hand to maneuver. Okay, I hope this was helpful to you, and if there's any questions, you can always mail me or give me a comment, and I will be sure to get back.